Coming up for you this morning on Daybreak, we have coverage of storm damage, this system that rolled through Hartville yesterday.
Plus, members of the Galloway neighborhood are not in favor of adding 2 roundabouts to the area. We'll talk about that in a little more detail and much more. That's all coming up for you on Daybreak.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. It's Wednesday, May 22nd. I'm Lauren Barnes.
And I'm Joe Morano. We've got a lot happening, and it's just Wednesday. Probably doesn't feel that way to some people, right?
Feels like there have been a lot of days between now and Monday, yeah.
That's a good way to put that.
That's the best way I can think of that, yeah.
Right, so hopefully everyone's safe after this severe weather that we've had for these last couple of days. Meteorologist Elisa Raffa back, of course, as usual, to help walk us through this and what to expect moving forward,
Is
right?
it Wednesday? The last couple of days are like a blur. I can't remember the last time I don't
Let me double check. Yep, it's Wednesday.
It's such a blur.
You haven't left here too much.
Yeah, I was here for a lot of hours yesterday. Honestly, you know what I need to do? I need to just set up a cot right there.
I can't believe you haven't already.
That would just make my life easier. Instead of going back and forth, this going back and forth thing is not really working out for me. I need a bed right there.
We need to watch out for that. Are you awake for the next 2 hours at least?
Yes, I'm here.
Good deal. We'll take that, because there is flooding that we're watching out for today, right?
Yeah, the images of the flash flooding yesterday were incredible. Many water rescues and cars stuck. So we're dealing with residual flooding this morning. Aerial flood warnings continue through about 10, 11 o'clock this morning for pretty much all of southwest Missouri, where we've got widespread 3 to 6 inches of rain yesterday in those severe storms. So please, if there are any flooded roadways in your area, especially near the rural rivers and creeks, never, ever drive through them. We're quiet otherwise. It's dry, mostly clear. We'll have sunshine. I don't know what happened here. Temperatures, though, are a little bit cooler than yesterday. Behind that front, temperatures running about 5 degrees cooler. It's 57 degrees in Springfield, 55 in Branson, and 56 in Rolla. As you head to work, we're looking at maybe some flooded roads. I mean, not the metro roads, but maybe some of the rural ones from yesterday. Otherwise, dry through most of the afternoon. By this afternoon, we're looking at sunshine, warm and sticky. That's going to fuel more storms by the evening and overnight hours, which is why flash flood watches continue. And here's our severe risk for the overnight tonight. More details on severe weather coming up in 10 minutes.
Continuing our storm coverage this morning, those severe storms that ripped through the Ozarks yesterday produced this tornado that was caught on camera near Strafford. Sydney Votaw shot the video sitting in the passenger seat of a car on I-44. It shows a tornado forming in her rearview mirror. Votaw and the driver, Jeff Golden, posted the video to Facebook saying they'd never been so scared in their lives and that they rushed to a storm shelter. They also got a picture of this semi-truck that fell over on its side in the median between the road. No reports of any injuries. The severe weather caused other damage around the Ozarks as well. In Hartville, there was heavy winds that knocked down a store there, the Town and Country supermarket. The entire main entrance, you can see, has been torn down. At about 3:45 yesterday afternoon when the storm hit, there were 25 people in the store. The store manager put everyone inside a produce cooler for about 10 minutes to keep them safe. No injuries to report here either.
Right before we made it in the cooler, me and one of my other guys, it hit right when we was walking in the cooler, and it actually hit hard and popped all of our ears. And then we made it in there. We could hear it whining outside, and within a couple minutes it was all over. But we could hear stuff hitting, outside the store.
Quick thinking on his part. They say their top priority now is to get rid of all that debris. They've already called their insurance company, who will assess the damage.
Moving to some other news around the Ozarks, floodplain maps are changing in Greene County, and FEMA wants you to know about the new updates, especially after recent storms. 4 open houses will be held in June to share the updates from 4th through the 6th. The boundaries of flood-prone areas have not been changed since the last update in 2010. If your home is now in one of those areas, you could need flood insurance or make some changes to your current policy. If you want some interest, or if you have some interest in attending these open houses, you can find links to more info on ozarksfirst.com.
Some more local news to bring you. Some residents in the Galloway neighborhood in East Springfield are not loving the plan to build 2 new roundabouts there. The Galloway Neighborhood Association has gone back and forth with the city of Springfield on the project's effect on the neighborhood. The plan is to put in 2 roundabouts on both ends of Galloway Street, one at Lone Pine, the other at the Primrose intersection. Last night, Springfield Public Works and project manager Jonathan Peets presented the project for neighbors to see, but members of the neighborhood association like Charles Ewing say it doesn't fit the Galloway Village's aesthetic.
This does not represent what Galloway Village looks like. This is a concrete center median. There is no trees, there's no room for grass, there's no thought process in terms of planting trees the entire way down for going down to Galloway Village.
There's been comments about the trees and the aesthetics of everything, and we'll continue to have those dialogue with the neighborhood association on what the best solution that we can have for those.
Meanwhile, across town, homeowners are addressing some issues in its neighborhood after the Roundtree Neighborhood Association had its monthly meeting last night discussing vehicle break-ins in the area. Mike Brothers believes it's something that has neighbors scared to even leave their cars in their own driveways.
We've had what we believe are just too many car vandalisms and window smashings in the last few weeks and months. There have been dozens of them seemingly this spring already, and it's extremely frustrating.
The association would like more patrol from neighborhood police and is asking for a higher police presence in the overnight hours.
In your political coverage, after all the flooding seen across the state this year, lawmakers are now trying to make flood control more of a priority. Senator Josh Hawley introduced 2 bills that will make flood control just that, more of a priority, specifically along the Missouri River. One bill would create an advisory council made up of members from each state along the Missouri River. The council would assist in advising the Corps on changing protocol to prioritize flood control. These members would come from agriculture or other river commerce industries. The other bill would give the Corps 90 days to make flood control its #1 priority. It also keeps fish and wildlife from taking priority over levees and other flood control systems.
Your right to know this morning, an investment fraud scheme took 2 Missourians for $100,000 but could get their money back now. The Missourians thought they were investing in stock for an amusement park being built in San Diego, but there was no park at all, actually. The money was sent to unknown people in Mexico. Now, Jay Ashcroft is ordering the men and the companies involved in this scheme to pay more than $300,000 in restitution and investigation fees.
Still ahead for you this morning, a study looks into just how safe catching a ride with Uber is.
And Coca-Cola brings back its old recipe for a limited time. We'll explain in your Money Watch.
From Color 10 Ozarks First, Lauren Barnes, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa. This is Color 10 News Daybreak.